Welcome back. Now, Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana says no major tax changes are planned in the upcoming budget. But is that realistic? Even without headline increases, smaller measures like bracket creep could still pinch lower and middle income earners, while sin tax hikes risk feeding the illicit market if pushed too far. I caught up with Devs Moodley, Senior Manager at Forvis Mazars, to unpack expectations for the tax in the national budget. Here's that conversation.
So from our perspective, we don't anticipate any major tax changes. I mean, the anticipation is that it's going to be a very calm budget. No changes from a VAT or personal income tax perspective are expected, especially seeing as what happened last year with the VAT increase or the proposed increase. I think what we will potentially see is the shift in the tax bracket, so your so-called bracket creep. That seems to be more realistic at this moment.
And let's talk about that. Is the bracket creep becoming an easy way for Treasury to raise revenue at the expense of the lower and middle income earner, right? How do you then strike that balance, making sure that you're not squeezing them in this kind of an economy?
So, I mean, you just said it, easy. It's an easy fix and it collects a lot of revenue. But is it the best option? Probably not. It hits the lower to medium income earners. And I think buying power now becomes an issue.
I mean, yes, we have low inflation, but also inflation is personal. So that's a totally different conversation. Let's talk about, I guess, consumer spending power, the money that they have to purchase goods and services. We're hearing renewed calls around zero-rated products, with the chicken industry calling to be added, right? This is, I think, the 9th year that industry is pushing for that. How realistic is that?
So the hope is that the zero-rated products are expanded in the budget that comes out on the 25th, but from a realistic perspective, there has been a lot of pushback on that as well.
Is your thinking similar around what we're seeing in terms of sugar tax as well? That industry also renewing calls for the sugar tax to be scrapped.
So I don't think we're going to see the sugar tax be scrapped. Same thing with the taxes on alcohol and tobacco and your sin taxes. I think it's likely that we'll see that increase. Whether it's going to be a major increase or a small shift, we'll see on the 25th. But that's always something that you've seen year on year increase.
You touched on, a really important subject here around those sin taxes. And over the past 20, 30 minutes, we were in a discussion room, really discussing some of these important tax measures. And I guess whether these sin taxes, right, are actually working. Yes, they're bringing revenue in for Treasury, but at what expense, right? We see what's happening within the tobacco industry, where they are, British American Tobacco just shut down its only plant in South Africa. And I'm wondering if there are ways to incentivize business, incentivize industry while raising some of these taxes.
So I think what the key is SARS's focus on compliance, and a lot of the talk that we just had was whether these illicit trades are on the radar of SARS, and it is. And what we're hoping to see is an injection into SARS to expand their compliance environment and to start targeting the illicit trade market as well.
Talking about SARS, right, we do know that it is Commissioner Edward Kieswetter will be stepping down before the end of the year, I think before the end of the first quarter, if I'm correct. What do you make of his role and his tenure at SARS? He's really been, he's been quite strict, right? When it comes to really collecting tax and getting things in order at SARS.
Yes, so I think he's had a tough job, tough shoes to fill. So I think he's done his best to try and fill them and to fix issues that were at SARS. I think the focus has been on compliance and collections as well. So that's what we've seen the shift to. Whether that's going to change or expand in the future, I think that's a wait and see.
That was Devs Moodley, Senior Manager at Forvis Mazars.